My goodness, we are back in the building. I tell you, we back in the building. Another week. Thank you for joining in to the No Excuses presents the Ray Lewis Show. I am your host, AKA Sugar, and today is just one of them days. Listen, I just got through doing an hour show with my next guest. And I'm telling you, when I tell you I learn something new every day, but absolutely electric. So before I get to that, if this is your first time, I always say buckle up. If you're always coming back, I said I appreciate you. It gets no better though. No, seriously, I'm telling you, like, this next guest is just, the day we met, we knew that we were connected. But we were so disconnected because of the labels and the things that we had on us. And we'll break that down to you really quick, but one of the smartest men I've ever met in my life, and now I call him brother. And I'm excited to be on the show today to reunite after we just done an hour show and just pure fun. I will not take much longer to welcome my great friend, Dr. Christian Conte. Doc, what is going on? First of all, you got to get me one of them hats. I need one of them hats, Doc. Yes, sir. I got a derby like that, but you know me, I'll be putting mine on backwards. I'm going to have to wear it forward.
I feel like this is the type of hat that makes me, a little bit more mature looking, and so this is my kind of fools everybody.
Doc, listen, before I get into how we met and stuff, that last interview we just done was just absolutely amazing, right? To give people that type of energy, right? And I think that's why I wanted you on the show today, because we've been going down a series about championship mentality, right? And we've been going since early March. Coach was able to tell me that since early March. And so if you didn't know that you was with us for so long, you have been with us that long. We've been rolling since early March. And I'm telling you, it's just absolutely amazing. But the reason what made you so key for me today is because of everything you've done from a yield theory and what you created, all of the work that we continue to do in prisons, and all of the work that we've done, right? And now to be back and, people wonder, who is it that you partner with? Why is it that you do what you do? Doc, thank you for coming on the show, man. I'm excited to talk to you today.
Listen, I really appreciate you having me. I love every time we connect, whether it's a phone call, it's a text, whatever it is. Every single time we connect, I get energy. Like, my wife, you and my wife, Kristen, both have the same birthday. So it's like you guys are connected. And she'll always say, listen, you just need to connect with Ray. If anything's going on, connect with Ray, because our energy together it's just electric. So I always appreciate you every minute. I really do. And it's crazy because I don't know how much we can get into, but I'm from Pittsburgh. Like, I'm from Pittsburgh.
Go figure. That's a great way to get my audience to turn off the doggone computer right now. Without explaining that.
But with all the differences, but like what you said, like all the differences, and this is key to life, because in life we block because of labels. Because of labels, we block out relationships, we block out opportunities. And it's so unfortunate. And I think we're living examples of two men who have just love each other, and we come from different places. First of all, we are so similar in so many aspects of our lives. And some of the labels might be different, but our essence is so similar.
Which is why I wanted to dive in very quickly, Doc, with what you created when it comes to the yield theory, because it still blows my mind to this day. And if you can give the audience just a quick capsule of the yield theory that you created.
Yeah, definitely. So back in the late 90s, I created something called yield theory, which is now an evidence-based approach to communication. It's a theoretical approach to change. So what it is this. It really boils down to, how do we connect with people? Look, if a bear walks in the room, right away, our brain is going to go into fight or flight response. Like, we're going to be like, I'm either going to fight this bear, I'm going to run from this bear, I'm just going to freeze. And what we know today in 2021 is as equally as if a bear walks in the room, and your fight or flight goes off. The exact same thing happens if somebody says the wrong thing to you. Like, imagine this, your loved one says to you, we need to talk, you know, and then right away that same system goes through. Yeah. Your same system goes through. And so what I have done is I devoted my life to my career to developing this theoretical approach to how do we get around that fight or flight response and speak to people in ways that can be heard. And ultimately, yield theory boils down to this. It's about meeting people where they are, genuinely meeting people where they are. Physically, mentally, psychologically, where is someone? So we meet them there. And then it's about doing 3 core actions. And listen, this is huge. If we want to connect with people, if we want people to hear us, I say we do 3 things. Yeah. And that is listen, validate, and explore options. And that's it. Listen, validate, and explore options. And, you know, Ray, I was telling you, I was speaking a few years back. Like it's a lot, you know, we get into it, but I just want to give this quick overview real quick. I was talking to a woman about 5 years ago, I was speaking at this mental health conference, about 500 people there. And this woman comes up to me and she goes, that's it? That's your big theory? 3 things? I said, yeah, but if you think about it, all Bruce Lee ever did was move, block, and hit. And he did pretty well for himself. So it's not a matter of making it complex. Like, I deal in prisons. I deal in maximum security prisons. I train corrections officers, police officers. I work with incarcerated individuals. And I'm constantly dealing with real world situations. And the last thing you need when a conflict breaks out is to be like, man, what's Dr. Conte's 38-point plan? Like, what do I do on page 75? No, I need to know, listen, validate, and explore options. And it's so impactful.
And this is why I asked that, right? Because the first couple of days we met, and this is what we're going through, this transformation of trying to get people to understand that what we're teaching, it's a lifestyle, right? It's a mentality, right? You must listen to it, but how do you validate, right? If you never execute, right? How do you explore options if you never reach out to fail? You know, so all of these things that, right? That's why the day we connected, we done our show together, and the day we connected, I'm like, man, this is absolutely amazing, just the way you think. And so I'm telling you, like, what excites me about having you on is that we're the same people from 2 different worlds, and there's no barrier in between that separates love, right? Because that's ultimately what we're teaching, you know? And what's funny is, I love you regardless, no matter how many times you got to go to the bathroom, you know? So I'm never going to stop loving you, Doc.
See, I'm your senior. You got to watch out because I'm a little older, so I feel like I might just maybe like a year or so, but I'm just saying someday your bladder's going to be like mine. You and I, like, what's one of the funniest things is, like, most people don't realize how funny you are. Like, here's this big, intense, you know, this guy physically can throw you through a wall. But, like, you're so funny. And one of the things we used to joke about before our show, Coaching Bad, that we did, I think it's available. That's still out there, like on Hulu or something. But we used to always laugh. We get ready to film, and I'd be like, man, you know, I just got to go just real quick. Let me this restroom real quick.
in the middle of filming.
I drink a lot of water and a lot of caffeine. And I'm just telling you, you get older, and that's just going to happen.
Doc, let me go into something that we've done together, man, because I think it's something we should really bring up. It's like we were one of the first people to ever go into prisons and actually record our podcast.
Yes.
For one, and then we was able to go back into another prison, and we was able to give a full speech. I was able to give a full speech to 400 inmates. Almost 200 of them was lifers, I think. And they let us record that message, and we have that. Why do you do what you do in prisons, and why do you think it's necessary for the work that we are doing in prisons right now?
Yeah, so I do what I do because my life is dedicated to helping people become free, whether that is psychologically free, you know, has been the core. Like, how can we be free? Because a lot of times people can be out in the world, but psychologically they're chained up. Their mind is locked in. They see what they want to see. They hear what they want to hear. It doesn't matter what else is presented to them. And so my life has been devoted to helping people become psychologically free. And the reason why I do what I do in the prison system is this. Across the country, nearly 7 out of 10 people who leave prison will return one day. And I'm not okay with that number. Like, I don't feel like anybody should be okay with that number, because people say, well, maybe they're not connected with somebody who's been incarcerated. But I'm like, who do you think people who are reoffending on? They're reoffending on your family, my family. Like, here's what I'm passionate about. If people made a mistake, if their lives led them to doing whatever they did to become incarcerated, then my question to the world is this: how can we possibly expect them to take a different path if we don't teach them a different path? So what I do is I'm very passionate about the programs I create for incarcerated individuals. And in the state of Pennsylvania, we're led by what I think is one of the greatest leaders I've ever met in my life, Secretary John Wetzel. You know him well.
Yep.
He's a phenomenal human being. He's a phenomenal leader. But what happens is in Pennsylvania now, in 2021, we train every corrections officer. So 18,000 employees, we train every officer in yield theory, and every person who's incarcerated in Pennsylvania goes through one of my programs from the moment they come in. And here's why I'm excited about this, Ray. Because from the moment someone becomes incarcerated, if you are celled with somebody who, in the lingo, the term is old head, right? If you're with somebody who's been around for a while, they could guide you in a really good direction. But if you get celled up with somebody who's still filled up with ego and trying to prove himself, and still getting into the nonsense that got him there, you could have a really difficult path for your entire incarceration.
Wow.
So what I've done now is I just created a video where from the very moment someone becomes incarcerated, they're doing two things. They're seeing this video and they get this 21-day program in Pennsylvania. This is unique, right? This is unique that any state or any place in the world that does this. And what I say to people is this: whatever led you to here, like, I have no judgment. The past is gone. I can't change 1 second of it. But what you do from this moment forward, you have an opportunity to grow as an individual. And here is the key. This is what I get so passionate about. So I appreciate you letting me talk about this. But here's what I say to people, Ray, to every person who's incarcerated. I said, in the past, there has been this discrepancy when people go up for parole, and people will say, well, I took every program you told me to take, so why aren't you letting me out? And they would just get so confused. But what I said is, the reason why is this: it's not about what you take, it's about who you become.
Wow.
So So this is what I'm saying, Ray. So now I say to people, the question isn't what do I need to take to get out of here? It's who do I need to become? And that's what it really is about. So our focus, thanks to Secretary Wetzel, is now in Pennsylvania about personal growth, about learning a different path. And for everybody who, I get a lot of people who are like, you just want to give people whatever they want. That's not it at all. What I want to do is, I say, how can I expect people to take a different path unless we show them a different path? So that's really, in essence, what I'm doing in the prison system.
Yeah, Doc. And so I'm gonna come out of the prison. I'm gonna come out of the prisons because this is what we're trying to unlock now. We're trying to unlock a championship mentality. So people find themselves in these places to where they think, I've done this, I've done that, but nobody never understands it's really who you become, right? Because that's what we talked about earlier, right? We talked about it on the show, right? It's like you can accomplish all of these things, right? The bull in the net, right? The bull in the net. Like, who are you? The $1 million question is, who are you and what are you becoming?
Yes.
Right? What are 3 of those principles on how somebody can get out of their own head? You speak about emotions in a very unique way. What is that, Doc?
Well, let me say that about this. I think this is one of the most powerful concepts that people can understand. I'm excited for your audience to hear this. And that is this. So I specialize in anger management. I'm one of 4 level 5 anger management specialists in the world. The other 3 are like 30 years older than me, so I feel proud of that designation, But
you look good, Doc. You look good.
I mean, it gets me. But seriously, but here's what I say to people all over. And again, like I'm on the streets, I'm in the maximum security prison, I'm on death row, and I'm in real world situations. And here's what I tell everybody. Emotions, every emotional experience you ever have in your life will have a beginning, it'll have a middle, it'll have an end. Emotions come and go, but actions cannot be undone. And so if we can teach people how to sit through an uncomfortable moment and you do this when you train people, when you teach people about how to go through and reach to the depths of who they are, you do this all the time. It's saying, look, just because I'm uncomfortable doesn't mean I can't handle it, or I need to be impulsive and lash out and hurt other people and just fulfill my every impulse. No, let me sit with this emotion. Say, okay, it's not comfortable, but it will have a beginning. It will have a middle. It will have an end. Emotions are going to come and go. Actions can't be undone. So I think that's one of the most powerful concepts I feel fortunate to teach the world. Yeah, I think that's huge, Ray.
Yeah, because emotions, right? Emotions are like roller coasters, right? They up, they down. You know, sometimes you're mad, you're sad, you're glad, you're disappointed, you're confused, you're abused. You know, it's so many emotions, Doc, you'll run yourself crazy. That's why one of the things that I was able to take even out of my game, was the emotional side of it, right? After a while, you have to rid yourself of those emotions, or they will actually drive you absolutely insane, right? Because
they'll control you. Right?
Yeah.
Like, so I say this, like if I take this caffeine here, I say, okay, listen, let's call this bottle here, this can. I say to this can, hey can, you're stupid. I don't like you. And it's like all upset. I'm like, all right, no, I'm just playing can. You're awesome. Now he's all happy. Who's in control of the can?
You.
Right? And so we might say, well, that's kind of a silly example, except how many people out there who are listening right now are watching this? How many of you have had your day going one way and then someone comes along and says or does something and now you're thrown off? Well, you just like that can. You're just like that puppet. You're letting the world control you. And again, my goal is to help people become free psychologically, cut those strings so that they're not, being controlled by others.
Yeah, you can use so many examples of that. It's like road rage, right? Like you let somebody control you based off what they do. You know, this kid cut me off the other day and he wasn't even paying attention to the road at all. He had his phone, he's texting, whatever. And I saw him, he cut in between 2 or 3 cars. And Doc, I didn't let my emotions get in the way. But I just pulled up beside of him and let him know, either drive your car or go sit on your couch. You need to do one or the other. My son sitting next to me, I'm trying to get my son to the airport. I'm like, he's not even looked up at the road one time. And he's cut off. You're so right, because once you go there emotionally, now you're like a rubber, it's like a puppet, right? Oh, I made him mad. Oh, I made him mad. It's so crazy that you say this. And this is why I'm telling you, Doc, this is why what we were talking about on how to stay on the path, right? We keep talking about how to stay on the path, how to make life a lifestyle, how to take things and rid things out of your life. One of the things that I always loved about every time I got around you was I knew I was going to learn something that I needed that I didn't know I needed. Right?
We bring that out of each other. You and I bring that out of each other all the time. And I think that one of the things that we both are open to doing is this. I really believe that enlightenment comes from anyone, anywhere, and at any time. And so that's not something that I just say haphazardly. I believe that in every single given moment, there's an opportunity to have enlightenment, which means if you pay attention to what's going on around you, you can learn, constantly learn. So what I'm struck by all the time is this. People will give lip service to, if I ask people, if I'm speaking, I speak all over, like you, I'm all over the country speaking. And what I'll say to people, big audience, I'll say, how many of you believe that you still have more to learn? Every hand goes up. I still have more to learn. Okay, great. Then why is it that the moment someone disagrees with you, you get defensive and start defending your position?
Wow.
If you really believe you have more to learn, then why is not the first moment someone disagrees with you and sees things differently, why are you not going, teach me what you're seeing? And so, I make it analogous to a box, man. I say, if in life you only ever see one or two sides of a box in a given moment, just because of the structure, we only ever get to see one or two sides. Now I could walk around the box and see the other sides, but now I'm missing what's happening over here. And so if I live my life realizing with humility that I don't see every side of the box all the time, I'm not God, I don't see every side all the time. And if I live my life with genuine curiosity, like, teach me what's on your side, teach me what you're seeing. Now, this is that's a championship mentality, because that's a mentality of constant growth. That's why you were always so great. You always wanted to learn and grow no matter what.
Give me three things. Give me three things that you believe, the three of Dr. Conte's things of how to live a lifestyle with a championship mentality.
Okay, so I would say the first thing I would say is that we master what we practice. So whatever you want in life, if you complain a lot, guess what? You're going to be a master complainer. So pay attention to realize that you master what you practice. And my biggest thing that I bring to the world is peace. So I always say to people all the time, if you want peace, you have to practice peace. That's the most important. I'd say that's up there. That's huge. The second thing I would say to people is this, that if I gave you a bucket and I say, what are you going to put in your bucket? Whatever your answer is, whatever you put in your bucket, that's what's going to be in your bucket. And you might say, well, that's kind of obvious, right? But the same thing is true with your mind. Whatever you put in your mind is going to be in your mind. So, Ray, when people fill their minds with violent movies, violent video games, violent music, then violence is in your mind. You know, I remember when I started counseling in the 1990s, it used to be a debate as to whether or not violent video games promoted violence. That was like a debate. People were like, maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. It's 2021. Of course it does. Like, it's not even a question. We have neurological scans demonstrating what it does to the brain. So yes, if you fill your head with violence, violence will be in your mind. And so I have a really powerful story from this. And I was speaking on death row, and I walked into this prison, and I'm on death row, and I said, I opened up, I said, let the guys out. I want to speak to them, right? So the first block I was on, they were laughing. They were like, no, serious. I was like, no, seriously, open the doors. Like, I want to talk to the men. Well, the first time I opened the doors to let them out, I said, the only 4 guys came out, because in prison, like, if you just open the doors haphazardly, as much as people will talk how tough they are, the moment the doors open, people are like, I'm not coming out. But word carries faster in prison than it does even in the streets, I'm telling you. So by the time I got to the next block and I said, open up the doors, everybody came out. So I'm talking to guys and I'm teaching this. I get to this lesson where I say, if I gave you a bucket, what would you put in this bucket? The first guy said food. I said, cool, you'll have food in your bucket. Next guy, I said to him, I said, what would you put? He said, I put water. I said, boom, you'll have water in your bucket. The third guy, I said, what would you put in your bucket? He said, my celly's head. I said, you just got it. When you're speaking, you just got to keep rolling. So I was like, your celly's head. Okay. All right. So you'll have food in your bucket. You'll have water in your bucket. You'll have your celly's head in your bucket. The point is, whatever you put in your bucket will be in your bucket. And Ray, that day when I walked away, I asked myself, I said, I understand when he said that he put his celly's head in his bucket, I understood 2 things. First, I understood why he was on death row. And second, I understood like what was more concerning, because on death row, you're single celled. So you don't even have a celly on death row. So I wondered whose head he's putting in this bucket. But I told these guys, I said to him, I said, listen, and he actually loved this lesson. I said to him, I said, look, whatever you put in your mind is going to be in your mind. If you fill your head with violence, that's what's going to be in. If you constantly repeat to yourself all day, everybody who's wronged you and everything you want to do to people, that's what's in your mind. So what I say to you, your audience, is this: pay attention to what thoughts you have. Again, if you want peace, practice peace. So A, we master, we practice. B, whatever you put in your bucket, put in your bucket. And then C, I would say this. I want to come back to the lesson I taught, kind of keep it short with this. And that is, every emotion will have a beginning, middle, and end. Emotions will come and go. Actions can't be undone. And if you could really undo these 3 things, this is huge. I think it's huge. I've dedicated my life to the path that I do. But really, honestly, one of the reasons why I was laughing earlier about that level 5 anger management specialist, but one of the reasons why I feel proud of it is because I do live my message. Like I can't be, I can't say, oh, hey, I'm an anger management specialist, and someone cuts me off and I start being that puppet.
Right.
I have to live that message day in, day out. And I get to live that message day in, day out. So I'm passionate about this work that I do. And that, you and I, we're so similar. And so the fact that I don't even think you can realize what a great impact that you have. Like, here's what I want people to know about you, because I tell this story about you all the time. When we went to speak at that last prison, like that we went into the last time, I said, you want to hear behind the scenes about how incredible a human being this man is? I don't care, first ballot Hall of Famer, all the greatness in football. Watch this. I text him and I was like, Ray, you want to come into prison with me? You're like, what time you want to go? When you want me there? Can we do it? Like, I really love to do. I was just throwing it out there. I'm like, I really like to do it next week. You're like, okay, I'll be there. And I was like, boom. And then you came in, you impact all these people's lives. And I remember I was talking to an inmate afterward, and he goes, all of them were so much positive, all that positive. And then one guy goes, yeah, but he probably gets paid so much. I said, you know what? He did it for free. He flew in. It cost him money to come in, because he flew up on his own dime, and he did this all on his own because he cares genuinely about helping people. Let me tell you, that spread through it so fast. I was like, so all the projections, and you know what that comes back to? People have their projections. They have their labels. Yep. And they want to think about you. They want to think about others the way they have it in their mind. But that's what they put in their bucket. And that's unfortunate, because the truth is, I am from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. If you cut me, I bleed black and gold. And I love you. I think the world of you. I tell people all the time, you are my family. You know how my daughter means everything to me, and my wife and I, and you are a part of the family. She knows you as Uncle Ray. Like, that's just how it is. Like, it's because it's so much deeper. Like you said, love has no boundaries.
Love has no boundaries. Doc, you are absolutely amazing. These last 2 hours we have spent together has been amazing. I learned so much every time, but I got to use the bucket window, because I say it in a different way. I do. Me and Coach, we say it in a different way, but you're right, bro. What you put in that bucket, that's what you got in that bucket.
It's going to be in your bucket. It's going to be in your bucket. Hey, you know what? I do a YouTube channel, and that's a free resource for people. They can just check me out, Dr. Christian Conte, on YouTube. But that's one of the free ways that I'm able to throw it out there and help people all over the world. So,
absolutely. Yeah. Doc, I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much, brother. I love you, man. I love you. Thank you for today. Today was absolutely crazy, brother. My heart is lifted and my spirit is rolling, brother. So I appreciate you, man.
I appreciate you. Love you, man. I wish everybody much peace out there.
All right, King.
All right.
It's funny because a lot of times, I'm always speaking about the crowd you keep and the people that's around you. And I always say this quote, right? Show me your crowd, I'll show you your future. And I'm telling you this for a reason. Like, it's like every time I pick up my phone, the first 10 people in my phone, they can not only help change my life, but if something happened in my life, they can encourage me to keep pushing through it. Those are the people that you need in your life. And they don't have to be no actor or athlete or superstar. They could be an everyday person that just want to see somebody else do better. And that brother, for me, he's educated me on things that I'm good in my arena, and I'm really good at what I do. But that's one of the smartest people I've ever met in my life. And it's because of how he views people, on how he views change. And so look, without further ado, I want to jump into this championship mentality, because it's about, I want to welcome you, first of all, to the championship week. Coach is waiting, but this week, Coach, get on in here, because we got too much to talk about right now. And championship mentality this week we're about to transition through some thoughts, benefits, and principles, right, as it relates to the health of the body and working out. And the reason why we spent almost 4 months, Coach, we've been on this almost 4 months now discussing different championship mentality principles. But it's because without those workouts, without those working out, it will just be temporary versus a lifestyle. Talk to me, Coach, but we got to get on this body.
Man. It's so true. I know when we first got this show started, so many people were so interested in workouts and what they need to do to improve their working out. But that would have been a shame if we would have went out there and gave so many tips on the health of the body without really jumping into the mind. And so even listening to Dr. Conte, I mean, it's once again just highlighting the importance of mental health. We always say where the mind goes, the body follows. And so as we go on this journey, as we transition into tips and principles for a healthy body, just keep in mind working on that mental side and that spiritual side is all in one. And so when we think about health and we talk about health, it's so important that we understand that good health is more than just the absence of illness. A lot of people think just because, I may not be on meds or, I could do this okay and do that okay, I'm fine, I'm healthy, I'm good to go. But as we learn with championship mentality, Dr. Conte, so forth and so on, you got to have a sound mind, body, and spirit all in one when you're dealing with this health. And so I know today we're talking about the body, but just keep in mind as we go forward talking about the body, we're really talking about the mind, the body, and the spirit as well. And so I know when you was like, Monte, it's time to jump into the body. One of the things we wanted to ask our group, and I know they keep a journal, and I hope they write this answer down to this question is, and we all need to ask ourselves, why is a healthy body important to you? And there's no right or wrong answer. Everybody's answer is different. Right. But you need to write that answer down.
Right. Yeah. Why is it important? Right. Like, and you know me, right? I'm always trying to come the opposite way, right? Because your health and your body are a reflection of your lifestyle. We say that all the time, right? So many people want to go in the gym, right? And they want to look good and they want to show you what their body looks like, but they feel terrible, right? A lot of people can show you a six-pack, but they spiritually dead, right? A lot of people can have a body of Tarzan, and you've heard this before, but have a heart and faith like something you've never seen. And it's just interesting because we talked about this over and over, like before you go into the transformation of the body, if you don't write out a clear plan, you've already missed half of the lesson. It's absolutely impossible. It's like us, right? Every workout actually was written. Every workout was written. So it's interesting because, look, health is a state of complete harmony of the body, mind, and spirit. When your body feels good, I'm just being honest. Let me just be straight up with you. That's why I wear big clothes all the time when I'm really trying to transform my body, because I don't want to look at what I look like. I want to always know what I feel like. Because if I feel good, then guess what? It becomes a lifestyle. So when people say, man, why you train? Man, why you still training like that? Why you still riding these bikes? This guy said this other day, like, man, I'm never riding a bike 73 miles. Michael Vick came over. He was like, we watching the game together. He was like, man, this man riding the bike 50 and 60 miles. And I'm like, listen here, I don't play golf like that. So I'm not gonna go chase no little white ball around no green grass. I'm not chasing no little white ball. I'm just not there, coach. I'm just not there.
I'm telling you, man, it's so important with that planning. And when you plan, that's proof of belief.
Yeah.
And so if you're not planning something, you might need to check on that belief thing. But we really need to write that down and know the answer to that question. Why is a healthy body important to you? Because let me just give you a few little tips for a few decades of work. You could say, I want to do it because you want to look good for a wedding. Or you could say you want to do it good because you want your body to look right when you go to the beach. Or you could say, you know what, I want to get my body right so I can be in shape for the football season. All those things are good things. I'm not saying they're bad things, but those things are temporary.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not careful, after the football season is over and you retire, that drive might be gone. After the wedding and you said, I do, years later, you might not look the same. And so it's really making a commitment to your why. And I'm gonna share mine with you. Now, I have a lot of external ones, like I want to be able to walk my daughter down the aisle. I want to still be able to play sports, throw football with kids and have fun and live my life without restriction. Yeah. But being practical, and y'all know in championship mentality, we practical. It's the only place we have to live on earth. It's a law. It's a principle. When this body malfunction, when this body is shut down, when it malfunction, when it's over, we have to leave earth.
And then you can do it.
I miss my parents. And I go back home sometime, but I miss my parents. And when I get there, I say, I miss their spirit. You never hear people say, I miss their bodies. You miss their spirits, but the body is our only ticket to have power and dominion and live out the kingdom on earth is through a body. Humans, we're a spirit in a body. And when we lose it, we got to go. We call it death. And so the number one fear of humans, they've done all that study and stuff. The number one fear of humans is death. And basically death happens when this body expires. Now, God is so magnificent, he gave it his own healing system. That if we just give it a little bit of help along the way.
You take care of it. Just
drink more water, exercise. And now we already learned the importance of our health, of our mind and our spirit is all this works, but we're talking about the body right now. It's the only place we have to live. And for those that are really into the spirit, it's the temple of the Holy Spirit.
They call
it depends on how you look at it. How you look at this earth suit, How do you look at it? How do you value it? A lot of people love their mind, but they don't respect their body. And sometimes it's too late. And what we have an opportunity today is to look at it and say, man, why do I want to be healthy? Or if you don't want to be healthy, why am I not loving myself enough to take care of myself? It could be a self-love issue. But we're at the point in our lives, man, when we was focused on this working out in the bodies, it was to get you in shape, to get us in the best shape, to get ready for the field. But we've grown, man. We're not the same as we were 15.
No, wait now.
We're different now. And now we understand losing college, people went to college with, losing family members, losing loved ones. And we lose them when these bodies malfunction.
Yeah, because it's the one thing. You're talking about the earth suit, right? That's what you're talking about. And one of the things that we take for granted over anything else is our health. It's the one thing. The only thing we know most of the times about our bodies is exactly what the doctor tells us if we go get a checkup. We don't. When I started doing push-ups and sit-ups when I was younger, once again, it was not to look good. It was just to make sure a man never put his hands on my mom again. So some things, the body, you use the body for, that it will save you so much stress in your life. It will remove so many distractions, because when you eat up your time in life, taking care of your body, you actually extend your life. That's when you continue to live a long time. And that's where the challenge this week, before we jump into all of these principles that follows the disciplines of the body, the question is, why is it important to you? This week, take a pen and take a pad and write out your plan. It's like going to a grocery store, but don't write down the list. You don't know what to get. You don't know what to do. When the last time have you wrote out a list for your life, for your body? The mind tells the body what to do.
And I'll tell you, Ray,
yeah,
one of the things that can help people along the way is to really understand that one of the greatest enemies of our destiny is bad health.
that's it.
And it's like you could go through life and you could lose money, but if you got a little bit of health, you could rebound and you can regain your money back and you can move on. You know, if you in a bad relationship, I've seen people survive some horrific relationships.
Yeah.
You know, they recovered at the time and they got back on the right path. Yeah. What we need to understand as a team, as a society, as a people, one of the greatest enemies of our destiny is bad health. And so today, somebody may be taking a stand and to say, you know what? I'm starting to get my mind right. I'm reading books. I'm doing great stuff. I'm moving closer towards my vision. Don't forget to respect your body, take care of your body. If you work on it, it grows back stronger. It's magnificent. You can't even explain the body in words. They try.
You can't explain it because let's give them something practical, right? Something that we lived. Let's be honest. When you walked in the gym, when we started training, you couldn't even pull your clothes. You couldn't even pull your shirt off. You had to wear sweaters. You had to wear big shirts because we don't care, because the only thing that follows work is results. That's the only thing that follows work. But we got people who start working out and after 3 days, they looking for a six-pack. After 3 days, you know, after a week, they talking about everything done changed. And that's when you get comfortable, and that's when it sinks in very quickly. Look, this week is a week of visualizing how you want to feel. And after you realize how you want to feel, put the look on it. Make the look the last thing. Because I'm telling you, I took this, we took it, and I took this thing and I made it a lifestyle. All we trying to tell you to do is don't just work out to work out. Work out because everything else wins when you take care of the temple.
And I'm telling you, and wow, you could think about the benefits if you need motivation. Think about stress. You know, now the studies have shown that if you stress, it's just as bad as if you got bad cholesterol and high blood pressure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so there's benefits of working out. It's reduced stress, the brain health. When you exercise more, it's more healthier for your brain. You reduce the risk for diseases. We know a lot of these things. You know, it slows the aging process. The list can go on and on. But the question we get ready to ask ourselves is, if we know all these things, then why don't we do it?
Why don't we do it?
And that's what you have to answer for yourself. That's what it's you versus you. That's what it's self-evaluation. That's, you know what? I know I need to lose 20 pounds, but I'm going to lose this 20 pounds, but why I want to lose it? You know what I mean? Maybe you connected it to your kids, your grandkids. Make it bigger than you. But just know, when this thing right here give out, when it malfunction and you don't take care of it, when it's gone, then we can't be here on earth. And it's just like a car. People will, when that engine light come on in their car, they'll go straight to the dealership.
Or not.
That oil light come on, they're going to get that oil change. Or if the car's dirty, they go to the car washes.
I know people who tried years with that same light on.
Yeah. And there go your difference. You know, do you address the issue right then and there, or even live a lifestyle that's preventive? Try to live a life that prevents you from getting certain things?
Yeah.
You know, or do, you know, you got the signs, you know, I had that pain, but I ignored it. No, don't ignore it. Every pain is a sign that something is going on. So figure that out. Get blood work. Go to the doctors. Get checkup. Start there, you know, before you get so much zeal to work out. You know, I suggest you go get your blood work. Go get stuff done.
Yeah, find out what you want to work on. Absolutely, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because it's a lifestyle. It's not like, okay, Monte, I want to get in shape because I want to be right for the wedding in November. You know, then you're just working. That's great. But when you got that mindset of, wait a minute, I love myself. And the only place I got to live is in this body.
Yeah.
That gives you a totally different perspective on how you take care of it. You start paying attention to what you put in it and how it affects the body, because every single thing And I won't get ahead of ourselves because every week.
No, don't get ahead of ourselves. No,
jump on something with the body, but
right.
Today's a good start, man.
You can trade cars, but you can't trade bodies.
Mm.
That car break down, say, man, let me borrow your keys.
Mm.
You can jump in and but you can't trade this one. Coach, let me tell you something. This is gonna be a really good, this is gonna be good. The body, because we've done so much with it, and we've made it a lifestyle at 46 and 53. And we're talking about what 50 looks like, and we're talking about what 70 looks like. And whenever that gets here, it gets here. But until it gets here, we will take care of the temple. And we're trying to challenge everybody today. It's got to be a lifestyle. Doc said something that I'm telling you, it's forever going to have me looking at that different. What's in your bucket? What's in your bucket? Like, what do you want in your bucket? Because when you want long life and prosperity and peace and happiness and joy and love, you got to take care of the temple, or none of that happens. Brother, God bless you. Another one in the books.
And thank you for having me, man. And Dr. Conte was amazing. And again, just for our team out there, just know that these may be some things that you like. Start. Yeah, before you even start, like, why I'm doing this thing. Okay, do I got my planning down right? Okay, how my blood work? You know, do I have high blood pressure? Am I pre-diabetic? Because all that dictates your workout program.
Yeah, don't go in the gym for an hour and then pull off your shirt and think everything changed. It ain't changed yet.
All right, my brother, take care.
Man, I appreciate you, man. Look, just round it up, right? I'm telling you, Doc said something, and I'm telling you, like, what do you want in your bucket of life? What do you want in your bucket? And I want you to take this week to write that question down. What's in your bucket? What do you want in your bucket? And why is your health important to you?
Wow.
And after you get there, what's the steps? Everybody wants to work out. And then this is something people do a lot. They said, first thing they say, I got the answer. Guess what? I start next week. I'm hiring me a trainer and I'm ready. And the trainer he gonna get me right, and and I'm saying to myself, so you have put all of your faith in your trainer before you put it in yourself.
Mm.
I'm telling you this. Before you start this journey with the physical, I don't care how shredded you are, how much weight you have on you, you want to lose, you don't want to lose, make the goal to be simple. I want to feel better. I want to walk better. I want to look, I want to talk better. I want to do everything better because that's your duty. And you only get one car. This is only one bodysuit. My takeaways for today is, why should we take care of the temple? The good book says, honor that temple. Get a pen and paper and write down your why before we make this next transition. We've been doing this since March. And I'm telling you this because this is why I wanted to share this part of it. Coach knows this. I have my entire perspective of where I was before we started this has totally changed, because every principle, I've practiced it, I've exercised it, and I've validated it. So now the new mission is, have you. Thank you for joining another week. No Excuses, Ray Lewis Show, AKA Sugar. I appreciate you. Let's do what's right for you. This ain't about nobody else.